Welcome to SoCal Sports Report's 100th podcast.
We're getting old, buddy.
I'll tell you what, that's almost hard to believe. 100th podcast. I am your host, John Stillman, along with John Adams, Jake Formansky, our producer-engineer, Justin Stillman. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight, so let's get right at it. We'll just wrap up this Dodger-Boston fiasco that's been completed. I'll have a few things to say about my buddy, Artie Moreno. But the Dodgers, they reconfigured the trade. They had to take the alleged injured pitcher and throw in a couple of low, draft prospects to satisfy Boston. But I for the life of me, nothing happened with the Minnesota trade. That stayed the same. I don't understand. It had no effect on the Angels. They didn't. No. Dodgers didn't say, "I want more players. I don't want to give you this guy. I want to give you that guy." It was, the trade never changed. Yet, Artie gets upset because it takes 3 days. 3 days for Boston and the Dodgers to agree on the player compensation for the injured Minnesota pitcher. What?
Who's a stud, by the way?
Sorry?
He's a stud, by the way.
Yeah,
Crowderall.
yeah, I understand. He's right in the three-digit fastball.
With two pitches.
But why? I think Artie's an idiot.
Oh, 100%.
I think he's an idiot. I was so looking forward to that trade. I loved it. Stripling would step right in there and probably be a number 3 or 4. I don't know if I'm Jock Peterson. Why would I want to stay with the Dodgers? Yeah, you might get to the World Series, but you're never going to play.
No.
He's never going to play.
No.
And he would be their regular, everyday, except against maybe left-hand pitching, but he would play a lot.
Yeah. For
the Angels, and Stripling's going to be a regular rotation guy. He's not going to be bouncing back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen. The only thing I can think of, maybe Artie didn't want to spend the $10 million.
Yeah, because he lost the arbitration here.
Yeah, he was going to make,
7.5, I think.
And the other guy was 2.1. It was almost $10 million. Yeah. But you stop and think about it. They bought out Cole Calhoun. He was going to make 14.
Yeah.
They gave 1, so they saved $13 million on Cole Calhoun, and you can't give these two guys $10 million. I don't know what.
But then we'll go and give Matt Harvey and Cahill 1 year for 11. I don't know.
What's he thinking about?
The only thing that I didn't like about the trade was they threw in another outfielder. If I was the Angels, if I was Epler, I would have tried to maybe get another pitcher from the Dodgers, maybe go 1 outfielder for 2 pitchers, a prospect pitcher, just something. But when you have Peterson, another top outfielder they had, and then Stripling, I don't know, that deal didn't really move the needle for me. But then looking back, it's like, at the same time, it's like, okay, Peterson would probably play, except for left-handed pitchers, like you said. But then what were you going to do with Adele? Because now everything you keep hearing.
Well, he'll start in the minors.
You don't know what's going to happen with him.
So I thought just maybe trial by fire and just bring Adele up and let's just see what he can do.
You can't do that until late March, right? He's got to spend his time down there. Yeah. I tell you what the interesting is in 5 days. I think it's 5 days. Jock Peterson has to go in a locker room where he's been told that he's not wanted.
Yeah.
And so does the kid from the Angels. How does that all go down, right? How do you how do you get them focused to stay on the right mindset and focus on being, a guy you got to let him know, hey, you got to battle for that last, that fourth outfielder's job or whatever it is. Maybe a backup first baseman. I don't know what you're going to do with Jock, but obviously he's going in looking at what they just did with the trade and say, where am I going? What am I doing?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And when is it going to happen? Or, do I not report and just go work out on my own because that's what you got me doing? I think he's just going to play a lot during, this spring training to try to showcase him a little bit more, right? And try to do something in a trade. And I don't know. It was very immature of Artie Moreno to do that. And I agree. That's going to help your ball club, right? And obviously you're just your stubbornness got in your way, and instead of being patient and letting something happen, and And, it could bite him. It could bite him, right?
How much is? I mean, he's upset because it took 3 days.
Yeah.
What's 3 days?
No. Right. And not trying to be
That's absurd.
disrespectful to Rengifo, but it was a 3-player for 1. So if you're Rengifo, you're like, that's pretty ridiculous where basically they don't like me at all because they have Fletcher and then you're going to have LaStella. So we didn't really need him at all.
Right.
And now, Peterson and Stripling, which Stripling would have been a staple in that rotation. He'd been a great number 3, 4, 5 guy. But, like you said, it takes 3 days and he gets upset. I felt like this whole offseason's just been
What he thought was
completely
supposed
disaster.
to happen right now. I mean, he's got to understand. I mean, they had to restructure the trade.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that in 20 minutes.
No. Especially with, medical and all that. I mean, yeah, I don't understand why he pulled the plug on it.
What I want to know is nobody knew that this guy had the bad arm or shoulder, whatever he had. The guy the pitcher that they didn't want from Minnesota.
Gratterall?
Yeah. What is Minnesota trying to do? They're trying to
Hide something?
pull
Yeah.
pull a fast one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So I was so.
I guess, okay, so it's over now. So now what do they do? They still got to go look for another pitcher. And I don't know. Rob Ray just went to the A's, right?
Well, you wouldn't want to get him.
Right? So I mean, who's out? I mean, it's
Robbie Ray went to Oakland?
he just went to Oakland today.
Oakland.
Yeah. So, I don't know who's available out there that, somebody's willing to get rid of that is a number 2 or number 3. But what do we really have to offer them,
Yeah.
We really don't have anything to offer them, right? It's almost like, Artie kind of said, look, I'm not doing this. It's done. And now here's my cards. Here's your cards. Go for it, right? He's looking at the offense and saying we're okay offensively. But, again, who's our right fielder now?
Mm-hmm.
So, and who's our leadoff guy, right? I mean, I like Jock Peterson in the 1 spot and then moving LaStella or Fletcher into the 9 hole.
Yeah,
I really like
exactly.
that, right? And now, and what do we know? Something might happen. You never know. It might come back again. Yeah, I have no idea. But now Peterson's, now they can afford him, right?
Yeah.
At what? I don't know what it was. He lost it like $6 or $7 million. He wanted 9.5 or something like that. So I don't know.
This doesn't look good for Epler either. I mean,
No.
Epler told us all winter.
Yeah, no.
Even at the press conference, Rendon, I'm going right up to my office now. I'm going to be on the phone, getting that number 1 top of the rotation starter. What I mean, already pulling the plug like that. I mean, I really can't.
Well, and I think it goes to show you for Angel fans that I think now that Artie, like John said, showed his cards, I think Artie's got a bigger say than a lot of fans thought he did. Because you're not trusting your GM, so now you're why would you pull the deal if you're an owner like that? You
Or
should wait.
Epro doesn't have that big of a voice,
Yeah.
Say, hey, no, we calm down. We need this.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
Epler's job's on the line.
Oh,
He's done.
Yeah. He's just hopping
I mean,
the
right
flat
now
board.
it's just like, enjoy your time in Southern California. I hope you got a nice place to retire. So, I mean, I don't see him being a GM next year. No. I don't see him being a GM for a while.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know if he went to Artie and said, "Hey, let's think about this," or just let Artie do what he wanted to do. I just can't. The reasoning is all wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on up, say it, Artie. If you didn't want to spend the $10 million, tell us that. But don't tell us it took too long to reconstruct a trade. 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, that's asinine. And like I say, Peterson would have been great in that 1 hole and playing right field, and Stripling would have been in 3, 4, something like that, 5 maybe.
You know who's laughing right now is Cole Calhoun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I saw some projection where they have now Simmons batting leadoff. It's like Simmons, LaStella.
See, I like Fletcher in that 1 spot.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I like.
I think it's kind of wild that, as Angel fans I'm going down and I'm like, oh, there's Pujols in the 7 spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've never seen him there before.
No.
I like Fletcher.
Hopefully, it'll help him there.
I like Fletcher and Estella going whatever order, but 9-1, having
Yeah.
two leadoff guys in a row.
Yeah.
I really like that. But anyway, I'm upset. I don't agree with it. I don't understand it. It's like the air's been taken out of the balloon. Now they're right back where they're. The Angels have to realize everybody in this division has really pumped themselves up. We got Rendon. I'll grant you that, but still, Oakland never stops making moves. Texas is just going, insane with Houston's going to be good. Seattle's made some moves. I mean, the Angels are just sitting there treading
Houston's
water.
always good. They cheat.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said
sorry.
that. That's over with now.
Yeah. So I just, I don't know. Well, I see where Renicki's going to be the interim manager in
Yeah, he's going to do his time for 1 year.
Boston until they find out
Yeah.
he wasn't involved with the Spygate. Then they'll probably
Right,
make
yeah.
him the
Yeah.
permanent. I always liked him. So pitchers and catchers are reporting today or tomorrow?
Today. Yep. Pitchers and catchers are reporting today, and then what is it? Usually about 5 days after that, or the weekend that the regular players come in. I was looking today on the Angels sheet and on who's the also invitees, and it's a lot of pitchers and catchers, and a couple players to be named later. So I think they're all, they're trying to find something. They're trying to find somebody sleepy to come in and work their way into that lineup. So, but curious to see what you guys think about this new playoff format.
Yeah. I read the thing 3 times. I still don't understand it.
Well, I mean, it's quite.
I think it's good.
I think, and you know what? Here's how I look at it a little bit. Usually traditional baseball players are fans like us, right? We're so known of this is the way it's going to go, and I think they have to go get a younger demographic,
Yeah.
right, to get involved in this whole thing, right? And by doing that, you're going to have to try to make these playoffs a little bit more fun. You get to choose who you get to play, that kind of. So now they're trying to say like, oh yeah, we want to play you guys because you guys suck, right? Or you're the worst of the best, right? They want to bring in a couple more wild card teams. Your 2 favorites now, I think, sit right. They get a bye.
I think they want just the team with the best record.
Is it just one team? Well, I
think
thought
it
it'd
was
be one
American
team on each
National.
side, right?
Yeah,
one team on each side, right? So now you're sitting there going, okay, my question to you guys is, if that's the case, if they're going to bring more teams into the playoffs, should they not maybe reduce the season a little bit?
Well,
it's a lot of baseball games, right?
Yeah.
Plus, these are going to be 2 out of 3 these playoffs.
Right, yeah. So I'm just wondering if that's
tough.
something that needs to be looked at, is maybe downsizing the season or getting rid of the interleague play, to reduce that. But here's an interesting thing. And Trevor Bauer went off on the commissioner today. I mean, off. I mean, he probably could get fined for it, right? I mean, he's just.
What do you say? I didn't see that.
I brought the look down, but the quote down, but he had a point in the whole routine thing, right? He's a routine guy, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden he's in a routine to pitch every 6 days. Now all of a sudden the best team in baseball gets granted this little break, and now your ace is not pitching for like 10 to 12 days. He's like, is that good? He goes, I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't like it. But he came out and he said, and I quote, "No idea who made the new playoff format proposal, but Rob is responsible for releasing it, so I'll direct this to you, Rob Manfred. Your proposal is absurd for too many reasons to type on Twitter and proves to have absolutely no clue about baseball. You're a joke." He said that to his commissioner.
Yeah.
Then he went off on a video, and he just went off on this whole thing. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. There's so much stuff here that I can't even talk about. And just went off. Yeah. And his Twitter feed just went nuts to the point where, like, this is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was, I couldn't believe he was, I would assume that he's going to get fined for doing that. But I think they want baseball to be become a reality show
talking
almost,
about
right?
Talking about the Sunday night, like the draft day, the
right. I don't know.
Final Four in the basketball when they have the select Sunday or whatever Sunday show.
So I don't know. I'm curious to see how it all goes down. again, they're trying to go after a younger demographic. They want baseball to be more fun, more maybe rivalries, more interaction of I want to play you, I don't want to play you, I want to see you in the finals. Like these coaches.
That's gonna be billboard material. If somebody says, if you say to me, I want to play you, we're gonna.
Well, usually, it reminds me of when I played baseball. If they're gonna walk this guy, they'll give him 4 to face me. I was pumped up.
Oh, good, yeah, exactly.
I was pumped up. I went up there going, you want to face me and not face him? Okay, you're going to pay.
That's
well,
right.
that's what the whole deal is. Like, as a coach, you're going in going, they think we suck.
That's right.
You know what? They've got us. They think we're going to get 2 out of us and we're done. We're going to shake their hands and see you later. Like, they can use it as motivation. Again, that's what baseball wants, right? They want it to get a little stirred up and they want it to get a little bit more reality-wise, right? And again, I understand the funkiness of these rules, but I think it's more to go get that younger demographic to get more interested in the playoff baseball. So
I like the idea of adding more teams. I mean, you look at hockey has half the teams. Basketball has half the teams, pretty much 16 out of 30, 16 out of 31. Football is 12, I think, but. Baseball doesn't have enough wild cards. I like that, but you got to go down to 154 games or something.
Yeah,
you can't.
145.
These are all going to be 2 out of 3. What if you have 3 rounds and all 3 go 3 games? That's not 9 more games with travel. That's 2 weeks. I mean, you're going to be playing baseball in January.
And that's their biggest thing. They want to get the baseball postseason done before football.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how that's all, especially with travel. The one thing that I mean, it'll help the Angels if they add 7 teams because they might have a chance now. But the only thing that I would change is the wild card. You got to make that a best of 3. You're not going to play 162 to play 1.
Right.
That's the only thing that I would change. Make that 2 out of 3. You could still do traveling's not that big of an issue. I don't get why they only have that as 1 game. That's my only complaint to that. That's why this new format, I'm like, oh, okay.
I agree with that. I mean, you can't play 162 and then
and again, you're going to be more focused on the baseball in hand when it's a playoff game other than a regular, just like a 3-game series, right?
Yeah.
So, but I would shorten it. I'd get rid of the interleague and maybe shorten that and keep the regular season going, just to save these guys' arms. You know what I mean? And I would do something. I would do in maybe the first 2. Maybe these wild card games, I'd find some way to speed it up somehow, because and I know they're gonna. Are they gonna go in this year where they say if a guy comes in, he has to face 3 batters?
Yeah.
This year,
Is that this year? Yeah. Like I like those kind of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just think somehow they need to be able to speed up the righty, lefty, or and just the guy's he's got to ice his arm. He's raised it so many times, right? So. Somehow, some way in this playoff baseball, we got to be able to speed it up a little bit, and that's what I'm kind of I know we're going to get into it, but this whole XFL, they're trying out different scenarios, for the
talk
NFL.
About that. Yeah, I'll tell you. The only thing I like adding a couple of wild cards, but like you say, season's going to be way too long. I can't play all those.
It's a lot of baseball. It's a lot of baseball, right? So if you got one of those wild card teams that are early on that goes all the way to the World Series final, I mean, give it to them. I mean, that's amazing, right? That's
2 months of postseason.
How many extra games are that big? How many interleague games do they play now?
Here, I'll look that up. Actually,
I want to say like
18 or 19.
No,
it's
I
less
think
than
they
that
play home and away, right? So I want to say they play 3, 6, 9.
12,
maybe 18.
maybe
18. Yeah, 3 teams away and 3 teams at home, maybe.
But then sometimes they split it, like how they do with the Angels and Dodgers.
Yeah, they do 4 games, 2 and 2.
Yeah,
but you might be right about eliminating the interleague, but.
And maybe shorten spring training a little bit. I mean, really, realistically, all spring training is for is just pitchers, just to get their feel and everything.
You don't need that much time.
I don't think you need that much time. I mean, shorten the games, maybe play till, mid-March.
Well, they're even starting this year. The Angels start on the 26th. It's their first game.
Yeah.
In Houston.
Is it in? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And they're for home openers also.
Against Houston. Yeah,
Against
I saw
Houston.
that.
Yeah. But
it's the one night where Angel and Dodger fans are all going to get along.
yeah, Dodgers coming down in droves.
Yeah.
With their, they're going to boo every Houston player that steps into the batter's box. During his entire at bat.
Pantone 292 or whatever they are.
9 innings.
Yeah.
All right. So are we done with? Did you figure out that interleague? Or are we done with
I'm
that?
doing it right now.
Okay.
Just got on.
I still can't understand why the Angels didn't make a real run at a pitcher. I never heard of any offers, any free agency or any trade offers.
Especially this class of free agent pitchers too.
Yeah. Plus,
He could have signed a Bumgarner for.
Yeah, I couldn't
Oh,
believe
he had
it.
the trade. He had the no trade clause to Anaheim.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, he had like 8 teams, and the Angels are one of them. But still, the only pitcher that the Angels could theoretically go and get in a trade is the kid from Colorado, John Gray. But Colorado's not going to take Rengifo when the Colorado's infield's stacked.
Yeah, I think Artie really blew that.
Yeah, he really did.
I mean, that was a perfect way to get. I mean, to get 2 guys for Rengifo was probably going to
Especially too because you got to put in the back of your mind that Ohtani might not be ready.
Yeah.
So
he's going to start in the minor leagues.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what. Then they're probably going to baby that. So he's probably not going to be up till what, May,
Probably.
June, possibly to pitch. I mean, that's just where I was like. I mean, the Stripling deal made sense. Peterson was good, but the throw-in outfielder, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of that one. With how loaded the Dodgers minor league system is, I would have probably asked for a little bit more. Maybe a catcher instead of Max Stassi, who.
Well, who's that guy they got?
Jason Castro.
Castro.
Castro. Yeah, he'll help.
Yeah, 18.
18.
Okay.
Because they throw the Dodgers in, no matter what. So they play against the National League East. So actually, we play against the Nationals. So, no, he goes against his old team. Yeah. So.
All right. Let's talk about all those big trades that the Lakers made to strengthen themselves for the championship run. I guess our buddy Rob knows what he's doing, but
Well, I have a feeling that they really didn't want to get rid of Kuzma, and I don't think they were going to get what they wanted out of anybody for Kuzma. Carlson decided he didn't want to do this, and I tell you right now, the Clippers did help themselves and we got Marcus Morris.
that's huge.
And I'll tell you right
Huge.
now that is a perfect example of. I don't think the Lakers can beat the Clippers and get to the finals because I think the Clippers have way more depth now. They always did have better depth, but now they have more depth than that, and I don't see the Lakers actually challenging them in a series. I think they could beat them here and there, but I think over a 5-game to 7-game series, I think the Clippers they're better. They have more depth because they have not strengthened that second wave of players. Rondo has his games here and there, and helps out, but they don't have a really good established point guard. They don't have point guards that actually make things happen and actually, score points for them. They're all averaging between 5 to 7 points a game, and you're relying on 2 guys, right? So you're relying on 2 guys to win you games. And if you get a good defensive team that can shut you down on those 2 guys, you can't win. Yeah. So, again, you're going to – and a guy like Doc Rivers is good enough to figure that out,
yeah,
right?
he knows how to
so,
he's won championships. They need some wing defense. I mean,
they need wing players, exactly, and they need a established point guard that can help them shoot. And I'm curious to hear why Collison didn't do anything. And I think to be honest with you, I think he wanted to go to the Clippers, and when he went to Morris, I think that's when he decided to back out, right? And so, I not doing anything. I don't know if there's anything down the road that they can do and pick somebody up, but
I heard some name today coming in I'd never heard of. don't know who it was. In order to sign a player that's eligible for the playoffs, he has to be bought out by March 31st. His team has to buy him out by March 31st, and you can that way you can sign him, and he's playoff eligible. But there's nobody out there.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think they just, again, just like Artie, here's my cards. Go do whatever you can. But again, after I start looking at the, what the Clippers have to offer and what the Lakers have to offer, I don't think the Lakers can beat the Clippers in a 5-game to 7-game series.
Or Houston, for that matter.
Yeah, Houston's starting to figure it out a little bit more. But again, a team like Portland could probably beat them. You know what I mean?
Portland
it's just, So,
and you got to figure too, if they go deep in the playoffs, the minutes that LeBron and AD are racking up, they're just gonna collapse.
Yeah,
they don't give them any rest at all.
No, and it's starting to show now. Like they'll go on streaks to lose 3 or 4 in a row, right? And
they laugh at the load management, but you watch the Clippers down in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard would be going insane, and LeBron will be hobbling.
Yeah. Because
Davis will be tired.
Because the Clippers have a bench to do that, right?
Yeah,
and the Lakers don't, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the Lakers have 4 guards on that staff, and I'm like,
what are you gonna do with them all?
Right, exactly.
Put them all together, and you might get 28 points a game.
Yeah.
Do you think Pelinka might be on the chopping block?
No.
He's good.
They just gave him more power.
No.
He took Magic's position. He's
that's right.
President, player operations, and general manager.
No, they look what he's made happen, right? Yeah. So it's just more or less he's.
He couldn't do anything with the Kuzma thing though. Kuzma was only making what, $1.9 million?
Yeah.
There's no way they had to match.
I think what needs to happen is Kuzma needs to start playing better, right? And
exactly.
And give us some of that rookie season,
give us some consistency.
Yeah.
Because Morris was making $15 million. They had the guy they traded, that Mo Harkness, was $13 million, and then they dumped in another guy making 1.3. They couldn't have matched that salary to get Marcus Morris. But yeah, Kuzma has to be more consistent. They all have to be more consistent.
Yeah.
You can't just rely on those two guys.
Yeah, he comes off the bench as that 6 man. He's going to he needs to perform, and right now it's just mediocre. So.
Yeah,
he has his moments, right? He has his moments, but again, it's like you said, it's not consistent moments.
I think you're right on the Clippers. I can't see the Lakers beating them in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Can't see the Lakers beating them in a 7-game series. Anybody watch the XFL?
Yep.
I watched it on the airplane a little bit, and I was like, it was one of those where I was just sitting there watching, and my buddy Lawrence was sitting right here, and there's a kickoff, and I'm like, did you just see that kickoff? And he's like, no. I'm like, I think they lined him up like inside the 40. He kicks it from the normal kickoff spot. He kicks it in the air, and the team can't rush until the guy touches the football.
Exactly.
I kind of liked it.
I did too.
I kind of liked it, I'll tell you what was a little bit kind of out there was there's a guy in the backfield running with a camera. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's a little gimmicky. Yeah. And then there's a commentator down on the grounds, McAfee, right?
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, and he's sitting there going, I don't know, I've got a producer in my ear telling me to go get some more content, and I got a referee going, get the hell off the field. So he goes, I don't know who to listen to. He goes, but it was that right there was a little gimmicky, but kind of what I'm finding out is, if I'm right, you guys can correct me, but the NFL has no partnership here at all, right? These are but they're open to allowing these kids to make NFL football rosters. Where in the past, the USFL, right? It was like, nope, you're either over there or you're over here, right? So I do like that. Is okay. So it's quote a minor league system, right, for the NFL, and you got some names like Stoops coaching, and some
Trustman,
Jock Jones. Remember the old Hawaii coach slinging it? So. Yeah. I like that it was fast paced. I like that it was really a lot of action. I don't know if I need to hear the coaches calling plays. That was a little weird. But I think it's a great little stepping stone to have a partnership, as in, a handshake with the NFL, where the NFL could go, hey, look, we're thinking about doing this. Can you try that? And I think that this XFL is like, just whatever.
Yeah.
Bring it
on. I'll give it a shot, right? Let's go, right? Like, but they got ESPN, they got Fox behind this.
I like the
that the ESPN Sports Center's got to give, they're showing recaps of what happened in the game. So they got big networks behind it. I think it's got a little livelihood. I would like it to be in areas where, and I know you can't do this because you need to put, you want to have
Major
Dallas and Los Angeles, but put them in like Des Moines, Iowa, or somewhere where people that really can't get to an NFL football game, right? I'd like to have it in those kind of spots, but the time of the season, it's really hard because it's cold in those areas. So where's Los Angeles playing at?
they're at home.
Dignity Health.
Oh, the soccer
Or the
stadium.
Charger. Oh, perfect. Like, that's a
They'll
perfect
probably
spot.
outdraw the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least they'll have fans,
they'll have the
actually.
real fans,
yeah, they'll have real fans. So that's a good spot for them. I was wondering where they were playing. But like Landry Jones is like the biggest name, quarterback, and he's hurt already.
Cardell Jones,
that's right. Yeah.
clinic on one of the games I was watching.
Yeah.
How do you like the extra points from the 2, 5, and 10-yard line?
No, I think it's
1, 2,
great.
3, that's
Yeah,
great.
no, it's fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the double pass.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
they can pass it forward, but he can't cross the line of scrimmage, obviously.
Right.
They could go. Yeah, they could.
But you can have two passes, two forward passes.
And then,
And the other thing too is, like, does every quarterback have to be in a shotgun? I don't think I saw one quarterback go up.
No.
Okay. But I tell you right now, what I saw in kind of like a full game, I watched 2 games. I watched Cardell Jones just a little bit. But what I saw is the NFL, some of these teams have a chance to find running backs that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Out of the backfield.
Holy cow, they're throwing it out of the backfield all day long to these guys.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to be able to find maybe a slot receiver and probably a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield for some of these NFL teams. I don't think you're going to find a quarterback here. I don't think you might be able to find a linebacker. The rushing is mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Some of these holes that these guys were making for these running backs were just like you drive some of the semis that I saw this weekend going right by me. I mean, you can probably drive it straight up the gut. So, but I like the fast action. I liked what I saw. I think it has legs. I really do. I think it has legs.
I heard, like I said, I didn't get a chance. I forgot to set my DVR, but I did hear a lot of national sports talk radio over the weekend, and they were all very positive.
Yeah.
Very positive. Yeah. They like the concept. They like the action. They like the fact that they're not trying to compete with the NFL. They're just there, and most of them thinks this thing.
And it wasn't hard.
Dallas played in Arlington's baseball. Yeah, they played
Texas.
where the Texas Rangers play, and I'm sitting there going, "All right, the Rangers are they just turned the Oakland A's into the Texas Rangers? With the baseball football field type of deal." I don't know. But yeah, no. I mean, I was surprised Stoops took the job, but that's telling me something like he's still in them. I could see Jock Jones doing that. I think that's where he could, help himself out. The other coaches I really didn't know.
Mark Trestman, former Bear coach.
Oh yeah.
Who only got 3 points for the Tampa Bay Vipers.
Is that right?
For
and then a
495
Chuck
yards.
Long. Was that Chuck Long, the old San Diego State coach, right?
Rocky Long.
Okay, Chuck Long then is he must be the quarterback. Chuck Long, the ex-quarterback. He was offensive coordinator for one of the teams.
Yeah.
And they put you in the booth, and he's like, Snake Blue 32 X right says it, and we're supposed to know what the hell that is, right? It's funny.
The other thing that I like too is the I don't know if you saw, but when they had a challenge, they're actually talking to the referees of what they saw,
right?
Which I think the NFL is definitely going to use that, because there was a game. I think it was the first game. The spot was terrible. They should have spotted at the 3 yard. They spotted at the 5. They did a booth challenge, and you could hear the actual official going, "No, he's from this video," and he's like, "Oh, okay, what do you see here?" He's like, "Okay, ball should be at the 3.5."
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Which I think the NFL, just might use that as well, just to give some clarity.
And here's the funny thing: in the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh,
it gives you the spread and the
Yeah.
over-under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great
It's
for
great.
degenerates.
So it's like you were
And
just,
you're watching the game, it's like 12-9. You're like, well, I think it's going to go under, you know.
Plus
But
1,000
I
here.
tell you, I can see that happening also.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Is it going to put William Hill? I don't know if they, who they're going to put up there, but they'll put up like probably, what they've decided what the number is, and the over/under, and it's kind of interesting.
the defense can score on an extra point if they,
they-
somebody
yeah.
Yeah.
fumbles and he picks it up and runs 98 yards. They can get whatever point value they were going for.
And if I'm right, if the guy kicks and misses it, they take a point off. Is that
I didn't see that.
something happens like that? They can take points
I
off.
don't think you can kick. You talk about a field goal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
didn't
you
see
can
that.
you can I think if you miss it, you get -1 point. So they can take. So like
They have a lot of good ideas.
Oh yeah. So you look at bad beats, right? And you're looking there, you're going, all right, I'm going to win this game, and all of a sudden the guy misses a field goal and he loses a point, and I'm like, no, I'm not covering.
Yeah.
It's
All
crazy.
been there.
It'd be interesting to see. I think it's got pretty solid financial backing. I would like, Vince McMahon is doing it the right way. He doesn't have all the scum and
Extra stuff,
stuff he
yeah.
had
Yeah.
back
I
first
mean, it was
day.
selling out too. In the first 2 games, I mean, the one that was in Washington D.C.
Yeah,
was
17,000.
17,000.
There was a lot of seats in Dallas. Yeah,
No.
there's a lot of seats in
Well,
Dallas.
they should play in the smaller stadiums.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
go play in the soccer stadiums that are around town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it sounded pretty positive from all the guys I listened to on the weekend.
And I think they're going to put the times that the games are going to go on, they're going to try to keep it away from national, like college basketball games, and they're going to have their own little slots. So they're going to try to attack at times where there's not a lot of competition.
Like the LA home opener this week is at noon.
Yeah.
Noon.
Yeah. So.
All right, talking about football, let's talk about Phillip Rivers, who is finally the divorce with the Chargers has finally been finalized. What does this mean for Phillip? What does this mean for the Chargers? I think we talked last week about the fact that they didn't really, look too much into the future. They should have hired, they should have signed somebody 2-3 years ago that could have carried the clipboard for a couple of years and been ready to step in. They did none of that. Now they got 2 guys I've never heard of, and where do the Clippers? Where do the Chargers go from here? There's a lot of Tom Brady talk out there.
Well, one of the things that I looked into was, I looked in some statistics, and I just want to. I kind of want to bring it back more to Phillip Rivers than I do the Chargers right now, if you're okay with that.
That's good.
I think he's a future Hall of Famer.
No doubt.
He had 59,271 passing yards. He played in 228 games. He had a completion percentage of 64%, 397 touchdowns. He's an 8-time Pro Bowl, 6 all-time passes completed, 6 all-time passing yards, 6 all-time TD passes, and he's the 10th all-time passer rating with no Super Bowl, right?
Wow.
And he started every single game for 16 years.
Yeah. And obviously, I think a jersey that will be retired. But here's something that is quite interesting that came up that I would be afraid if I'm Tom Brady. He was 11th all-time sacks. He was sacked. He's 11th time all-time being sacked. He was the offensive line for the Chargers was 29th last year in pass blocking. And if I'm Tom Brady, I'm worried, let alone the pass blocking for the Chargers was below average at best for the last 12 years. So if I'm a 42, you're getting rid of a 38-year-old quarterback to go to a 42-year-old quarterback,
That makes a
right?
lot of sense.
And so I'm sitting there going, well, if I'm Tom Brady, I'd rather go to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they want, that's where they're saying
Phillip.
Phillip Rivers is going to go, because there was a guy that was an assistant or offensive coordinator. All the terminology he's familiar with is Frank Reich's. I think he's the offensive coordinator. So it's a good fit for Phillip Rivers to go there. But if I'm Tom Brady, I'm like, yeah, I have a place in L.A. I'd love to play for L.A., but I don't like what's in front of me. and I'm not a scrambler.
Exactly.
So you need to load up with offensive linemen to protect me, and then I'll do my job. But if he's a guy that's going to be on his butt half the time, like Rivers was, that ain't gonna like that. If I'm Tom Brady and if I still want to win a championship, I'd knock on the door of Indianapolis and go, hey, look it, why not? Let's do this. I got one of the best offensive line. I like to run the ball. So I don't know. I mean, yes, would I love to have Tom Brady as a Charger? No doubt about it. For 2 years, it's a lot of money, but now you can go after a quarterback. But now you're looking at that first pick that's like, what, 6 or 7?
The sixth pick.
It's going to have to be an offensive lineman, right?
Yeah.
They need to load up with offensive linemen to protect whoever's going to be back there, unless you get a quarterback that can run. Which they're all saying that's the new thing, right?
Well, now there's a new thing. Now there's 5 teams that are in the sweepstakes for Joe Burrow trading up with Cincinnati. I don't know if you saw it, and the Chargers are one of them. I think the Chargers are 3rd on the list.
Well, it kind of comes out that Burrow doesn't want to play for Cincinnati.
Yeah,
I mean, he's kind of floated himself out there a little bit, but the Dolphins, obviously, the Dolphins got a ton. They have a ton to throw at Cincinnati.
Yeah,
so. But look at there's a lot of QBs. Look at the Joe Montanas, and you end up in other teams that finished out their careers. I thought he was a hell of a quarterback. But there's one thing that these teams got to look at, and he just doesn't have that arm strength anymore.
No. He's lost a lot the last 2 years.
He doesn't zip it, and that is a crucial situation there. And that, is that a situation where nobody goes and gets him and just says, hey, go stay in shape just in case somebody goes down, we can bring you in. But if I'm him right now, I moved to Florida. Why? I have no idea. But he did. And I say, I need to find somebody that's going to strengthen my arm because, it gets tired. It's almost like these pitchers, right? They go down with tired arms or whatever.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he had a, quote, tired arm or it's just like I'm getting old and it's not strong anymore. But he throws it awkward and, I don't know. I don't know. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm a little worried with this. The statistics that I looked up for the offensive line for the Chargers is the history's not good.
They say that Rivers' destinations could be, like you say, Indy, Tampa Bay, the Bears, and Tennessee.
Tampa Bay because of Bruce, and he has a relationship there. But,
and they have weapons, too, in Tampa.
Yeah. But you got to get it to them. You got to get it to the weapons.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the key there. So I don't know. Look at. I'm a Charger fan. It was fun to watch. It was time to go. I'm first one to say it's time to go. I hope they retire his number. I hope they give him everything that and I think he's going to be obviously a Hall of Famer. I mean, these are great numbers. So it's it was a nice little video they put on Facebook and everywhere and social media saying goodbye. And I don't think it's going to be I think it was kind of a parting of the ways. And they're both, I don't think that anybody's throwing knives at each other. I think it was very cordial and so hopefully it works out. So for both parties.
Well, that means we're going to lose about 47 people that came up from San Diego every weekend just because of Phillip Rivers, not because of the Chargers.
What 47 people that probably those 47 tickets will go to the Raiders or the Chiefs or the Denver Broncos or so.
How about Cam Newton? His name is focused as far as bringing Chargers making a trade to maybe acquire him. He's kind of fallen out of good graces. Lost his starting job. I would like to
I don't know. I think he's soft. I think he gets hurt now. I don't know. I'd rather go with bringing in. Okay, if I bring him in, I don't bring him in for long, right?
No.
If I can bring him in for a couple years, that's fine. But I need to go after a quarterback this draft. And if you're not going to take it in the first round or trade up for it, then. So if you can get a seasoned veteran to come in and do, I don't know, I kind of like Teddy Bridgewater. He makes things happen.
He did fairly well when Bruce was out.
I don't mind him. Like I wouldn't mind bringing him in and then having somebody underneath him, and learn,
Foles might be out of Jacksonville too. So there's gonna be a lot of options. I just think Cam Newton's just damaged goods. I think there's just too much there now he's one more hit away, especially with the Chargers offensive line.
He's a weird cat.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah,
He's
no,
just a
he's
weird
a
cat.
bit
I
tough.
don't
Fit in.
know. I think I would. That would be a sketchy move. I don't know if it would be a high percentage add-on for us. But I think that Tom Brady would be an ad because you're only going to get about 2 years out of him.
Well, not according to him.
Yeah. But do you want to pay him $30 million a year?
He
right?
wants Antonio Brown too.
Yeah.
If you're going to sign me,
Get the whole band back together.
Yeah. Well, XFL will take you.
Yeah.
With Antonio Brown.
How about Tua? Is it Tua, the guy from Alabama?
Yeah, Tua,
Did they
the kid.
draft him?
Yeah, the kid from Oregon.
Herbert.
Good. Burrow's good. I think there's or do you say, okay, let's I don't want to say tank, but this kid from Clemson's going to come out the next year, right?
Lawrence.
So Lawrence, yeah, that kid's a stud too. So if I draft Tua, I say you don't play for the whole entire year. You're not going to jump on this field till you're 100% ready to go. Exactly. So I have no problem sitting you the whole entire year and just making sure that you're fully healthy, that you can take a hit and do all that kind of stuff. So I put you in practice and do all that kind of stuff and live hitting and see. But I really wouldn't. That was a major surgery that he had to take on. So. Does he have the goods? No doubt about it. Can he scramble? Yeah. It's all good there. But if I'm the Chargers and we draft him, I would sit him for the whole entire year and not touch it.
Do they have more than one pick in the first round? How do they?
No, I think they just have one, but it's a high pick.
Six, yeah. So
they must be having, and the other thing too is the Melvin Gordon situation. What are we gonna do with that whole? That's a crucial piece to our offense, right? Yeah. Are you gonna pay him? The money. He wasn't too happy about that situation. So,
yeah, that did not go well. Let me see here. The U.S. women qualified for the Olympic Games. No surprise there.
Shocker.
Yeah, that's no surprise there. Let's see what else we got here. I'm still looking at that MLB playoff. I can't. That thing is unbelievable. Ducks and Kings continue to battle for the. Ducks have played pretty well lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won a couple of games and they've lost.
I'll let Jake do the talking.
8 points out of the wild card spot. So
8 out of their last 10, right?
And they only lost. Then they had 2 overtime losses.
And this is, I think, the time right around the time last year where they went on that Canadian/East Coast road trip and went. They lost all 6.
Right.
So they got points out of it. It was a good road trip. You're starting to see guys start to step up. Sam Steele's going to be a dude. Max Jones is going to be a guy. But I think at the trade deadline they got to start collecting more prospects, and I'm not going to say tank, but start getting some guys in return because I think some guys have stepped up to where you can trade and get some value for. And there's one guy that and Ducks fans are going to be annoyed by it. I don't really care. The Josh Manson needs to go as a defenseman. I think he's been soft for the last 2 years. I think it was the Montreal or the Toronto game. He was basically a liability being on the ice. I think same with Richie. Richie's, I think, probably past Corey Perry in penalty minutes. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those guys get dealt. But because the deadline's coming up. Trade deadline's coming up. So, we'll see about that.
It is. John, you got a wrap on Pebble Beach?
Yeah. Actually, Phil made a run. Nick Taylor hung in there, played great.
Yeah,
Canadian kid, played at the University of Washington. Led from start to finish. That's a rare occasion. but hit some just quality golf shots coming down the stretch, and good for him. Won his second tour event, and then Larry Fitzgerald won the Larry Fitzgerald and his partner won the combination, the team deal. They won it together in 2018. They won it in 2020, and Larry Fitzgerald is actually getting reamed on social media that he doesn't post scores and his handicaps through the roof and all this kind of stuff.
I think they had 8 or whatever.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny, but the weather was great. Just a little windy, a little chilly, but overall, one of those beautiful Pebble Beach weeks. And now they're local here. They're in Los Angeles at the Genesis Open, and it's a shortened field because of they only have one golf course, and they run out of daylight. So it's actually a very, very strong field, and it's Tiger's event, so he's the host. Phil's playing, and got a lot of great players there, so it should be fun. So I'll be up there Friday.
All right. Anybody else got anything to a little bit short tonight?
One last thing. I thought if any of you guys saw I'm sorry, but if you guys saw the AJ Hinch interview that he did with MLB Network, that was a travesty to just MLB managers and baseball people. He was not apologetic. He just kept using the same, it's still under investigation. And Ferducci was asking him some pretty hard-hitting questions. Like, it was actually kind of impressive. Like, he wasn't holding back at all. But AJ Hinch's interviews or his answers were just the same, we're still looking into it. It's like, dude, just come out and say it. Like, and for him to say, he knew nothing about it.
Well, that's ridiculous.
For 3 years, and now they're coming out and saying that Carlos Beltran was the Godfather.
The yeah.
So I don't know. I hope he never gets a job in baseball ever again. I mean, it was very arrogant, I felt. So
he may not. He's out for a year.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he'll get some front office gig, but I mean, I don't know. I thought he really could have eased some things up, I felt like, in that interview, but it was just very pompous. So
yeah. Well, I hope he enjoys his year off. Is he going to
year off? I mean, I think he might be coaching the XFL. I mean, he's got. I don't see him ever getting back in baseball again. Do you?
Probably a front office gig, I would say.
Oh, but he won't be on the coaching.
No. Yeah,
I don't think he'll be
a
able
front
to,
office.
Yeah.
He'll be a scout or an advanced. Oh no, I don't think he
won't
can
be a
scout. Yeah,
scout.
no, never mind.
I mean, I could see him being a behind the scenes
So
to a GM or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't see what's his name, Cora, or I don't see Beltran. I don't see any of those guys being ever putting on a uniform again.
And it sounds like Cora's was worse.
Yeah, Cora was
because Cora took it to another
to
team.
Boston, from Houston.
And here's the other thing: if Cora took it to Boston, and there's been a couple players from the Houston that actually come out and said they're sorry, actually.
Keuchel.
But Noah's actually a guy today, actually. But yeah, Keuchel
really?
did. But yeah, that's actually I think on the team.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Nobody's. Boston's been very quiet about this whole deal.
Yeah, there hasn't been any.
There hasn't been a lot of talks about the whole Boston situation. Oh, they're just throwing Houston under the bus. Well, guess what? Our coach left and was your coach, and why is it obviously really quiet over there, right?
Yeah.
So I would be ringing up Boston just like I'm ringing up Houston.
Yeah.
And
they're waiting for the shoe to drop. I think they're going to get nailed pretty hard.
But I think I threw it out there, and I thought it was a little bit extreme. But I mean, because you can't sit these guys for 60 days. But what is that going to be? What do you think the hammer is going to be?
Boston's going to get because of the players.
They lose
association.
They lose draft picks, right?
They can't do anything to the players because of the CBA.
And because the arbitration's coming up next.
Yeah,
year,
which is ridiculous. I think, like I said last week,
perfect timing for both of them.
Those guys should be banned for life.
Okay, so let's just open this up then for discussion, because if you're telling me that the Players Association, right, is a very, very strong association, right? But as a Major League, the Major League Baseball, right, is going to the players and saying these guys cheated. is the Players Association coming back and say, well, so did Roger Clemens, and so did, Bonds, and so did these other guys that enhanced themselves. That was cheating too. Like, does Major League Baseball have no say in the matter of demanding some type of a force of putting these guys in a situation where it's I don't know what I want to say. It's like, they're a punishment.
Goes
right?
back to your buddy Rob Manfield.
Oh, he's my buddy now. Okay, he's my buddy.
The commissioner, who's Mr. Mr. Softy, he doesn't have the guts or the balls to come out and do what he should do.
But and I say this as an open discussion, is the association, the Players Association, stronger than Major League Baseball? Like, is their association that strong? Like, you need us, even though we cheat, you need us to make your brand better.
Yeah.
I mean, and do the players have that ability on their shoulders to say, we can do whatever I want because they need us? I don't know. I'm throwing it on the table because I agree with you. There needs to be a hammer. But what is that hammer going to be? Like, it's
their hands are tied. They can't do it.
Right, exactly. So you can just keep cheating. Is what I'm saying. Just keep cheating. Well, keep doing it, but hide it.
So like I said last week, I'm sure these aren't the only two teams that are using cameras. So what's to prevent any team from doing what Boston did this year or what Houston did, and you can't punish the players because
they're the perfect example. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
That's right. They give them immunity to tell them what they already knew. So now no players can be punished for this. So might as well keep doing it.
Yeah.
What's the why?
Right,
Why
because that Players Association is the strongest of all the leagues out there, right?
It is.
But it's almost like it's like what I just said. It's almost like they say we can kind of do whatever we want because they need us to build their brand. Baseball's in a situation where it takes a long time to play a game. It's on the boring side a little bit at times. It's not boring for us because we're fans. But, to get the younger generation who is sitting on their couch playing video games and not really wanting to watch baseball,
right?
How do we get them? Well, we can't take the superstars out of it, right? Because now they're, we're watching, Tom, Dick, and Harry that they don't know who it is, right? So I don't know. I want these guys to be punished. Right? They cheated, and they all jumped on board, right? Why? Because their coach told them to? I don't know. But they're all cheating. Well, I'm not sure they're all. Two teams that we know that got nailed for cheating, and none of these players are going to get their hands slapped. None.
They're just going to get beaned for about a couple weeks, and then they'll stop.
Yeah, I mean...
Which is stupid.
I don't know if that's...
Because there's only so many draft picks you could take away. You know what I mean? Like, so Houston doesn't get 2 years of first-round picks.
Okay, but, I mean, how many times do those draft picks make it to the Major League? They laugh at the draft. Like, okay, take two of them away because I got money in Boston. I'll just go buy my players, right? It's no big deal. I'll trade my players, So draft picks to me are, I don't know. It's not a...
It's not a bigger deal.
I can go get that draft pick when I trade one of my superstars away, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
So
two of them.
But I don't know. I struggle with no punishment.
Yeah.
And again, if they're all on the team and they all know it, how many on a roster?
25.
25. You have to sit down a month. You two have to sit down a month. Then you two the next month you're sitting down. I don't know what they do. Like you can't fine them, right? I don't know. It's irritating.
If there had been a Players Association as strong as it is today, back in 19, were those Black Sox guys all been banned for life? Probably not.
Probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
Hand slapped.
Probably not.
At least we know the Angels weren't stealing signs. Got that going for us.
That's obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't know how to do it properly.
No, exactly.
That's obvious.
They were doing it. All right. Does anybody else have anything to bring up?
Nope.
I think that we are out.
Peace.